what is escrow? And actually, escrow is kind of the unsung hero of real estate. An escrow company is a neutral third party that facilitates transactions, particularly those involving large sums of money, by holding funds in a secure account until all conditions of the contract have been met. During real estate transactions, escrow tracks the contingencies outlined in the buyer and seller's purchase and sale agreement. Once all those contingencies are met, on the close day, escrow will disperse funds to all parties. The escrow company is often a title company that offers escrow services, like, for example, CW Title, First American Title, Chicago Title, etc. But here's a basic rundown of what to expect during the escrow process. Within 24 hours of reaching mutual acceptance, escrow will reach out to both the buyer and seller to gather their contact info. Then, within 2 days of mutual acceptance, the buyer will deposit their earnest money with escrow. A few days before closing, the lender will inform escrow how much the buyer is required to bring for their down payment and closing costs, which the buyer usually brings in the form of a cashier's check. The buyer and seller separately sign their closing documents with escrow. And once the buyer's loan is finalized and wired off to where it's supposed to go, escrow ensures all the seller's property loans, mortgages, and lienable utilities are paid off in full. Escrow will then distribute the funds necessary to pay all other settlement and closing costs accrued by the buyer and seller, like the real estate agent fees, lender fees, property taxes, counting recording fees, etc. Then, after all that is paid, escrow distributes the remaining funds to the seller, which is called the seller's net proceeds. And at the end of all that, escrow provides the buyer and seller with a final settlement statement that details where and who all the proceeds of the sale were paid to. Of course, this is all happening all at once, all in one day, and the seller usually receives their net proceeds the day after closing. Like I said, escrow is the unsung hero of real estate. They do a lot behind the scenes, but most importantly, they make sure that the buyer isn't paying too much or that the seller isn't receiving too little.